Hey everyone, welcome back to the Crafty Couple. Today we're making some high-end DIY room decor projects using Dollar Tree items. So we hope you're excited for the video. If you want to save some money, make some really nice decor, this is going to be perfect for you. You don't have to go out and spend a fortune on home decor. So if you guys do enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up and let us know in the comments which project's your favorite. Let's jump in and get started. To start this project, we're going to be using one of these Dollar Tree vases. Now these come in two different sizes. This is the longer vase, the bigger one. And then these are going to be the 12-inch wood dowels from Dollar Tree as well. And I believe you'll need 5 packs to complete this project. The first thing that I'm going to do is start gluing these all the way around and try to get this lined up with the bottom as best as possible and then having this go straight up vertically. If you have it tilted a little bit as you go around, that could start to get worse and then it won't line up when you get to the back. And the easiest way I found was to line these up on the bottom of the vase and then glue those as close as you can to the previous wood piece. Now when I did this, I did end up with a little bit of a gap in the back, but I really don't mind it since you're not going to see it. You can just simply arrange this to where that is in the back. Once we have all those pieces glued down, we can move on to staining this piece. Now I'm using that early American stain from Minwax, and I didn't worry about going all the way down or making it look perfect towards the bottom since I am going to be painting it. Now if you wanted to, you could stain this whole piece or even paint it one solid color or different colors. I'm doing gold along the bottom as you can see here. So on the back I did a little test spot because I wasn't sure that the tape was going to be able to get into those little creases. So you can see this isn't a completely flat surface because we're using those dowels. And I wasn't sure if the paint was going to bleed underneath there. So it actually worked out just fine. I would suggest though, when you're painting this, try and paint downwards instead of spraying up towards the tape because then it might run underneath there. That's what I did and it seemed to work out just fine. So go ahead and run your tape all the way around and press it down firmly and you should be just fine. I also put a bag over it and then taped it again. That way I don't have to worry about taping all the way up. The bag will cover that. And then I'm going to use the Rustoleum gold spray paint to go ahead and spray paint the bottom of this. And if you don't want to use the gold, you're more than welcome to use something different. I was thinking about doing the black. I really like the wood and black combinations, but I feel like we do that quite often, so I wanted to do something a little bit different with the gold. And that's really all there is. It's a very simple project, but I think in the end it's absolutely stunning, and it could go with like mid-century modern, a modern boho, but depending on how you did style it, you could use it in a lot of different decor options.
For this project, I'm actually going to be duping something that I saw from Target. It was $60 and I'm going to be making this between $2 and $3. So I grabbed all of these dowels from Dollar Tree. They're the 12-inch dowels, and I will also be using 6-inch dowels as well. At first I was kind of spreading them apart because that's how I thought I wanted the design, but when I started putting it together, I really liked how it looked when they were a lot closer together. What I did was start with kind of my middle, and so I laid out the 4 vertically and the 3 horizontally, and try and keep the ones that are horizontal on top and the ones that are vertical on bottom. It just makes it look a lot better. And then I just started gluing them all together. Try and have at least 2 points of contact when you are gluing on the dowels. This helps it just stay together a lot better. I did switch between the 12-inch dowels and the 6-inch dowels, kind of just whatever you like. And then I spray painted it with this Krylon Fusion matte black spray paint. You can also paint it gold, but I loved the way it looks in black.
For this piece, we're going to start with 2 of these 8x10 canvas frames. Go ahead and remove that canvas, and we're just going to be using the wood. Now, we have a lot of people ask where we get our inspiration on our crafts. This happens to be one where I was simply just sitting and it popped into my head, hey, it might be kind of cool to combine a couple of these frames with a bowl, make like a planter or something like that. So that's where this came from. Now, we do get a lot of inspiration though from like Pinterest or some high-end stores online. So if you guys haven't followed our Pinterest account, make sure to go do that. We will save a lot of pins for us to kind of recreate in the future. So if you want ideas, there's a lot of good ones that we're going to be showing on there. So we'll have a link for our Pinterest account down below. Make sure to go check that out. And for this one, what I'm doing here is marking the center of the frames. And I held up the other frame so that I could get the width on there. And then I'm going to go ahead and mark that on both sides here so that I can cut it. And after we've marked that first frame, we can go ahead and use a ruler, line up the other frame, and then just continue those lines to the next one. That's going to give us the area that we're going to be cutting out. And I'm just going to use a jigsaw to cut those pieces out. And right here, when you are cutting, you want to make sure that these are clamped down or held down tightly. You don't want to cut it like that. I was just simply showing you where I was going to be cutting. So make sure if you are using a jigsaw, these are secured in place when you're cutting. And then once those pieces are removed, those will simply slide together like that. Really simple and easy. And then I'm going to use some of this hot glue to connect those pieces. Now that we have all of that glued together, we can move on to staining. And if you guys have watched our channel for a while, you know we love the early American stain from Minwax. I think it's a really solid color for a lot of different decor options. We do want to expand that a little bit. So if you have a stain preference that you really like, let us know in the comments what colors and brands that you like to go with so that we can start trying those out. And then after we've stained that piece, we can move on to this bowl. Again, it's from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint that with the matte black paint. And after that, all we're going to do is add a little bit of hot glue on the wood here and go ahead and connect that. A really simple project, but I think it turned out really cool, a little bit different, and you can add some succulents or some other plants to kind of top this off when you're done.
For this project, I actually saw this on Instagram from Allison Yolanda, and I will link her Instagram below. But I'm just going to be grabbing these tumbling tower blocks and putting it in this shape here and just gluing them together. What I did was glue the two tumbling tower blocks together first, and then I will be gluing all of them together to give it more of that structure. Now that those are all glued together, it's time to glue the ends together to make it have that cute base for our planter. I think this is a really cute design. These could be really cute coasters. You can make it into a really cool wall decor piece. I just love the design of how these tumbling tower blocks went together. Now I'm going to be grabbing 4 more tumbling tower blocks and gluing them on to the side. So I went on the second one in and glued it about 2/3 of the way up, so there's a little bit at the top left. And then I'm going to be doing that again, so you can see it's the second tumbling tower block in, and I'm going to be gluing it there. Then I just took some early American stain from Minwax to finish it up. This is what it looks like after it's stained. I think it came out really cute. And if you want to keep it all Dollar Tree, I'm going to be using this glass and spray painting it black, and you can put succulents or other things like that inside. In the end, I decided to decorate it with something that I got from the Target dollar spot that I thought was super cute.
To begin, we're going to be using one of these burner covers from Dollar Tree and then also 2 of these cork sheets from Dollar Tree as well. And the reason why we have to use 2 is one just doesn't quite cover this enough, because what I'm going to be doing is placing this on the cover here and it's just not big enough. So I wanted to make this as even as possible. I'm essentially going to line this up in the center, trace around the burner cover, and then that's going to give me a half circle, and then I'll use that as a template for the other side, trace that and cut it out. That way I have two that are going to be really close to the same size, and then that's going to cover up that whole centerpiece of the cover. So like I said, you should have that first half circle and then just use that as a template, line it up on your other piece of cork, and then you can mark that and cut it out. And then that way those are gonna line up really nicely on our cover, and when you lay these down, you can get them really close so you don't even really see that seam too much. Now after we have those pieces cut out and fitted, we can move on to painting the cover. I'm going to be using this matte black spray paint from Krylon, and went ahead and spray painted all of it except for the underneath part. I don't like to use extra material if you're not going to see it. You're more than welcome to do that though if you want to have this completely finished. And once we have that painted, we can move on to attaching these pieces. So these are adhesive sheets. So what I have to do is remove that backing, and then you can go ahead and stick these on here. I left the other one on here just so I could have an idea of where this one needed to go. And then once we have that one down, we can put this one on. So the key here is to try and line it up and start as close as you can to the other cork. That way you're gonna hide that seam. The last thing that you want is a gap there in the middle and the black paint showing through. So try and get that as close as you can. And in the end, you really don't notice that seam that much. So I think if you can get it really close, you should be really good. Now, originally I was just going to leave it like this with no handles or anything, really minimal. But I was looking at it and put a few things on it and decided I would think I might like it a little bit more with some handles. So I used some of this wire from Dollar Tree and ended up doing some handles. So you could do either way if you wanted to keep it without it, or you could add some of these handles. But let me know in the comments if you like it more minimal or if you do like the added handles. They are still minimal, very slick and slim, but I think they add just a little bit more character to the tray itself. And then what I did to kind of get these as equal and smooth as possible is I ran it around that stain can right there to get a good uniform look to both of these. And then I'm going to bend the ends just a little bit so that they can fit on the edge a little better. And then I'm just going to glue these on here. Of course, I am going to spray paint these the same black color though as we did the tray. So again, let me know if you guys like it more minimal or if you like the handles. That's really all there is to this project. Really simple, only a couple dollars to do, but I think in the end it's still a very nice high-end piece. Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want more Dollar Tree DIYs, make sure to check out all the other amazing crafts we have on our playlist. And as always, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you can be notified every time we upload a new video.